talked with Attorney Bono Adaza, Governor Adaza, about traitors in high places in our society and our republic. How do we change this? Through the ballot. We have been faced with an electoral system that seems to betray the nation repeatedly. But thanks to the efforts of our guests and others in the movement to reform our electoral system, we may have a chance in the coming 2016 elections. Of course, we have our long-lost brother in this cause, long-lost to this program, but he has been appearing in many other programs explaining the issues, Toti Casino of the Philippine Computer Society. I don't know if you're still the president today. You clarify later.
Yes.
And of course, our 60-30-10 discoverer of the 2013 elections, Ado Paglinawan, who in other circumstances is a former Philippine diplomat and of course a media person also, a journalist and so on. But let's get an update first from Toti. There has been the past 2 weeks a lot of excitement, including the defeat of the Smartmatic deal with Brillantes, which is a big slap on Brillantes, which is nakakaawa siya, retired na siya, and he has to suffer this ignominy, you know, but he deserves it siguro. But of course, there has been also an exercise lately, a demonstration of the proposed system by Gaslagman and Melchor Magdamo and so on. So please update us. Many things have come up. Please go ahead.
Right now, you know, with the nullification of the Supreme Court on the maintenance contract for the 81,000 PICOS units, they will be subjected to the options that they have already announced on public. They might bid it again. Second, if not, they have to bid a new 63 additional thousand units of PICOS machines on top of the 23,000 that is bidded out on the lot 2. However, from our stance in the civil societies, particularly in the IT community, we are still totally against the PICOS. For one, in the sheer project management, if it's going to be Smartmatic, definitely it's going to be a failure. I mean, they already performed badly on 2010, and again, they performed worse on 2013 in terms of failure of transmission. They failed to transmit 9% in 2010, and on 2013, 23% failed in transmission. They did not adopt
These are facts, huh?
Yes, yes, yes. It's already... Well, we'll go to that later on. Amazing. We will go through that a little further, you know.
Okay,
and then a result of that, there were system date in 2010 that was not May 10, and instead it's April 28, and then they disabled the UV scanner embedded, which would determine whether the ballot scanned by the machine is original or fake. Therefore, and then there were 60 units discovered of PICOS machines in Antipolo. So the fraud in 2010 is highly possible. And to us, in the IT community, we consider that as foul, and we should subject it even then for digital forensics. However, we were ignored. Now we move forward to 2013. Again, they did not implement the digital signature, same thing that they did in 2010. And they, under their rules and guidelines, they already ordered the Board of Election Inspectors, or BIs, to change the date on the election day. If it's not equal to, they have to change it. To us, that's already manipulation.
This is a summary of all the violations they committed.
Exactly,
2010 and 2013.
And as a result, you found out the 60-30-10, and my colleague here, Ado, will be able to elaborate on that. So the IT community and the rest of the civil society are saying ban Smartmatic.
Okay.
Do not use PICOS machines. It is troublesome. It is not accurate, especially the ones being brought in by this dealer. They don't even own the PICOS technology. We already know it's owned by Dominion, a Canadian-based company. So we are dealing with a distributor.
Did the source code finally come, and has it really been examined?
Well, they display, they show that they have already the CD. But what do we know? Maybe it's a Katrina Halili, Hayden Co. scandal that's containing in that CD. We will never know, because you see, when you do a source code review, I mean, imagine this. You have to test, here is the source code, here is the manual count. Let's see how it does count. Can the program equally match that? And you do that nationwide. You don't just do that in select groups. And then every unit, all political parties should be present to test it. That's how a source code review is done. And then as they generate it equal, okay, there is a signing to be done and says, yes, I testify that this is the source code used. So that if they have any protests and they bring back the source code on those CF cards found on those speakers machines, and they said it's not the same as deposited in central bank. Even central bank had to have an accounting of all the source code, not only in one, but all locations. That is the actual source code, because the crime for fraud can happen in any of these 81 locations, for that matter. The case of Biliran, Congressman Glenn Chong, he was able to prove that so many transmissions has happened in multiple IP address, targeting to one single IP address. And there was one occasion in a single IP address where the source of that data is coming from, transmitted in multiple canvassing center. So we're already questioning, ano ba to? What is this? Okay. I mean, this is already clear evidence proving that, you know, there is already irregularity in the transmission. And in the past elections, when under manual environment, let's go to the manual, people can see it. People can witness the counting. The BI can announce it and everybody. So the proposal to go hybrid, to go a mix where maintaining the manual count, which can be done in 3 to 4 hours done, and then as we get the result, transmit that by canvas electronically.
Because there are also verification documents already.
Right, hard copy.
And the public can take pictures.
Can take pictures of that, and so they can enter the, you know, and then through a projector, they can say, okay, here are the results. Do they match? Fine, transmit.
Okay, so let me bring up 2 or 3 questions in the mind of the public. One, is this also an advocacy of back to manual? Is the hybrid really a violation of the, or the manual violation of the automated election law? Because Nines Cachos Olivares had a column or an editorial saying that there is no violation. It's still manual. You just add a interim or intermediate counting manual and then feed it to the electronic counting. So it could confirm. Number 3, in the exchange of emails circulated by the different parties concerned, Edel Ross, for example, saying, why is COMELEC insisting on buying and buying and buying? It's always the same formula they have, buy new ones. And then also in that series of emails circulated that also came to me, the suggestion that we have a projection or PowerPoint of the arguments of the German Supreme Court and other European decisions to go back to manual. You saw all this, so, what are your quick responses? Then I will go to
real quick. On what COMELEC has been saying, that, or other legislators for that matter, they say going back to manual is illegal. And I would like to remind them, can they please check Section 29 to Section 23 of the Republic Act 9369, which is the amendment of Republic Act 8436, which is the automated election law. In that provisions, in Section 29, it already defines in the eventuality, all right, that as the technology evolves and there is a need to do manual count, they provide the prescription on how to do manual counting. And if you'll review the contents of that law, it was just lifted from Republic Act 6466, which is the Electoral Reform Law, and also Republic Act 7166, which is the Synchronized Election Law, which actually lifted up from the Omnibus Election Code, the Batas Pambansa 881, signed in December of 1985 by no less than President Marcos. In other words, they just copy-paste that and then just improve on some sections there, which technically allows manual counting. And the same procedures that you have to clear up the area, the documents to put that on the wall, let there be those counting be done, be read by the BI, the chairman, exactly the same as the manual. So we're saying it is allowed by law. Now, if they're going to say that we're going back to manual, is that a regression? No. From the technology standpoint, even the shading is still a manual process. Right. So what's wrong with writing down the names and reading it in public? So when you want to have a fully automated system, maybe the system can really read your mind and read your heart. In that way, it's definitely automated. But when you say technology, even the process of writing, it's still part of technology because that's part of process. In any matter, when you transact in an ATM, you insert your card, you enter the key, and then you enter your transaction, and then you get, you're still having that manual operation of touching the screen. In the same manner, writing and reading is still part of your process. So it's not going back. Now, why do they insist on going back to maintaining the purchases of the PICOs? Money talks and BS walks.
What's BS?
bullshit works. We're going to censor it, then let me say it that way. But you see, I mean, you're talking about another 15 billion pesos. In 2011 or 2010, we spent 7 billion pure rent. And then we spent another 3 billion just to purchase that, even though the community objected to that. And then now we're talking about another 15 billion on top of the 2.3 billion that was purchased for the 23,000, the 15 billion for the 63,000 Picos unit. It's all money.
Okay, before we go on, there's still one question or two. Let's ask Ado, what do you have to add to this? What is your reaction and updates on your end?
I'm really perplexed why they're saying this. Because when the 9% did not transmit in 2010, and 23% did not transmit in 2013,
is this still
the COMELEC still submitted complete results.
Yes.
So if it was not automated, how was it done? It was done manually. They had to mano-mano the whole thing, you know. So
pero wala tayong alam na nagbilang sila manually ng 23% of the precincts.
Paano nila nakumpleto?
Paano nakuha yung mga
Well, if you recall in 2013, by the 20% turnover of the canvas, they already declared the winners at 20%. Okay, and then the public clamored, no, that's not, then the chairman was saying, no, it's already found out that it's going to be resolved. Yeah, but only 20% was turned in. It was about this 80%.
Yeah.
So the failure of the 23%, they increased that to 40%, and then the 60-30 pattern appeared already. And then towards the end, forget the remaining 23%, we already have the winner.
How can the media be so cavalier as to let this pass, di ba? At least tayo sa GNN, and remember, 2010, tayo din lang ang nagko-question na nitong buong proseso. Ano? But the rest of media, hindi ba parang pinalipas na lang, pinalampas na lang, okay na lang.
May nilalabas ako dyan sa social media. I call it stupid is epidemic. You know, alam naman natin, media natin, tamad. Hindi lang tamad, talagang tanga. You know, and this is as rich epidemic proportions na mas pinaniniwalaan pa nila yung sinasabi nung Sixto Brillantes at saka nung James Jimenez. Kaya pag-aralan nila talaga kung ano mga facts.
Pero hindi ibig sabihin naniniwala doon sa dalawa yung publiko, no?
Precisely. But media is only...
Mainstream media, to be particular.
Mainstream media is merely parroting what these people are saying. When it's right before their faces, no? Paano nila na kumpleto yon? Bakit sila nagdideklara ng 6 candidates sa 20% pa lang kung walang hocus-pocus na nangyayari dyan?
Ang alternatibo kasi para sa mga tumitingin at nakakaintindi is, anong gagawin natin? We have to have a total cleansing of those in position, not only in COMELEC but in government. Kasi lahat kaparte dito sa conspiracy.
I asked James Jimenez that when we were in one forum. Ang sabi niya kasi, the public is looking for results. Hindi naman namin pwedeng hindi kumplituhin yan one way or another. Sabi niya gano'n. Sabi ko, James, if it's a failure, why don't you declare an election failure and call for a new elections? Kaysa yung
result.
In other words, niluluto ninyo. Hindi nyo pinipresent kung ano yung realidad.
Okay. We'll go back to the other minutiae nitong issues na to. But I want to move forward to the new appointments sa COMELEC. No? Kasi andyan na yan eh. Ano? Mag-evaluate tayo. Ako, ang title ko kaagad question mark eh. Ano? Is this a new COMELECtion? So question mark muna. Kasi ayaw ko naman sabihin, walang pag-asa yan. But number one, you were already saying that the chairman may have questionable competence based on the law. Please
well, under Article 9-C, Section 1.
Mas mahusay na abogado na yata ito kaysa computer expert.
The public policy major lang. It's clearly stated. It clearly stated there. Well, one of our advocacy is automated elections, so we have to study the entire. It's stated there that the chairman, particularly the chairman, but all the commissioners must be a lawyer and a member of the IBP and must have practice of law. Now, why is it reserved for those who have practice of law? And how by the term of practice of law, meaning by term of practice in trial courts. And why is that? Because the COMELEC as an institution is a quasi-judicial office. It's not just a project management office. It's a quasi-judicial. As a quasi, they will be subject to hearings. Electoral protests are submitted to the commissioners, and they will hear on the merits of the case, whether it is something to do with the count, or something to do with the voters, or something to do with the way certain Board of Election Inspectors. All of those subject for protest and contest. And so the sitting commissioners and chairman shall sit as judges. Now, in the background of the duly appointed chairman, unfortunately, from what we have reviewed, he has been the dean of FEU, and then also previously served in the School of Law in De La Salle, and a corporate lawyer. To us, brings us the question, what is his experience in court? Because the previous chairman, if you would recall, were the likes of a Pardo, who is a Court of Appeals justice and became a Supreme Court. Davide, who later on became a Supreme Court, also was a justice. You have Abalos, who was also a judge, a fiscal, during his term before he became mayor. And the likes of, I think, Yorak and everybody else, they serve as justices and judges. So by background, they are qualified to fit the title as chairman. But now, you have a corporate lawyer, which of course, by bias, he'll be siding on corporate contracts. In this case, with a contract with the questionable Venezuelan dealer in the person of Smartmatic. So that was already biased. And then, in fact, in recent paper, he attended the forum last Wednesday, the UP, and they said it's open to all, and I think he should not outright discriminate Smartmatic. And to us, it's already sided already, in spite of the glaring...
You were there in that?
Yes, we were there.
To make it.
And he was also there. The chairman was also there, but he was just there to listen and learn, as he was quoted to be saying. But then, furthermore, the other two commissioners...
Guanzon and Abbas.
Guanzon has, maybe she would be the more qualified person because she has litigation experience, but more of her experience is in the areas of gender and domestic violence. Learning curve, as far as election-related laws, well, he'll catch up. She'll catch up eventually. As the other guy, Abbas, well, we don't know much.
The relation with the
MILF is highly questionable. It's rather improper. And second, at 10 years at that, the learning curve, he will be eaten up by the system inside COMELEC.
Let's ask Ado. Ado has been attending some discussions and fora on these issues. Doon sa mga kapihan, ano reaction dito kay Abbas? I think there were some reactions.
Well, to prejudge these people at this point is, I think, most appropriate. Because we have already been duped twice. And a public is already on the verge of street justice. So if these people are really listening, and if the president really wants a graceful exit out, the only way he can get out of his administration clean, without a regime change happening, is through the ballot, a credible ballot. And it seems that, again, this president is not giving himself that chance, and is being run by people who are manipulating around him, some connections, some desire to suit some vested interest. Like this Abbas thing is totally ridiculous, you know. It's
a 35, 36-year-old. Apparently, that is one of the observation of many people.
Well, that is required by law. It has to be 36 years old.
Okay. Minimum.
But what is the competence of this guy, you know? It's really bewildering to me. Mind-boggling.
We have last 3 or 4 minutes, and there's a lot of talk about the Gus Lagman proposal, the TR's
transcript, transparent, credible election system.
How does this go?
Well, you maintain the manual operation. Everybody can conduct.
Shade or
no, just writing,
name.
just like what you do in a typical. So in other words, you just maintain the opening hours at 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. You're done, just like the old manual days. And then as you close it, the precinct, by 5 p.m., you start opening the ballot box in front of everybody.
Yeah, I was told by Melma Magdamos that maybe also have a laptop or computer with a camera.
Right, with the camera set there.
So as you are counting.
Right, and a projector.
And a projector.
So everybody, as they read and they write, and it was already projected. So parallel count. So once it's done, you can already automatically consolidate the results. And once you already have results, project, people can take pictures, have a printout at the same time, and transmit.
Electronically, para mabilis
Electronically.
yun. Oh.
Now, you can go by region so that the traffic will not be convoluted.
Oh.
So that way you can go from the precinct to the municipal
What about the
first.
cost and purchasing of
It's,
equipment?
well, the proposal of former Commissioner Gus Lagman is let the provincial do the bidding so that when they bid those laptops after the election, they can donate it to the school.
To the schools.
So that way, you don't have to worry about storage costs, warehousing, and maintenance.
Okay.
So you just do it one time, implement, and then the source code will be provided for free.
And that would be good for the K-12 because yung K-12,
Yeah.
3 students, 1 Xerox copy of a book.
Exactly.
Eh kung i-project mo, at least lahat
It
makakapta.
saves.
There are many angles to this
There are also
discussion.
benefits to the rest.
But we have 2 minutes left, so I'll give Ado 1 minute and then finally you wrap up. Baka may mga points na hindi ko nailabas. So Ado, please.
We are on the verge of a chance to save this democracy. And from the looks of it, the B.S. Aquino is again bungling the whole thing, just as he's bungled so many concerns of this country. This is really alarming, because if this election fails again, I don't know what will save him, and I don't know what will save this democracy.
Okay, let's ask Toti, how do we save this nation
Okay.
through the elections?
Okay, we need the public to be more active. On May 14, this coming Thursday at 9:30 a.m., there will be a Joint Congressional Oversight Committee hearing on the automated election system, chaired by Senator Coco Pimentel and Representative Senen Sarmiento at the Senate plenary at 9 o'clock Thursday, May 14. Everybody is welcome to attend. It's a public hearing. Be there. And that will show support that we don't like Smartmatic, we don't like the PICOs, we just want a more fair, honest election.
Ipakita natin dito sa mga bagong commissioner na nagbabantay tayo.
Yes, yes.
Pati sa sistema na gagamitin dyan.
Yes.
So maraming salamat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toti and Ado. And please help Toti, Ado, and all the others trying to safeguard our democracy. Mabuhay and have a good weekend.